3 hyenas are a formidable force that can pose a threat even to a young buffalo. It seems that the female warthog stands no chance against them. Even if she manages to escape herself, the hyenas will definitely catch and devour her offspring. But the spotted predators underestimated this dangerous hoofed animal. One sideways glance, one step towards the piglets, and the female instantly charges at the opponent. The warthog's straightforward and frightening aggression scares the hyena, causing it to retreat immediately. This hits the fighting spirit of the other predators. Meanwhile, the female warthog catches up with the opponent and shows that she means business. She delivers terrible blows with her upward curved tusks and nearly disembowels the hyena. The predator's hide withstands, but now just the sight of this female warthog will instill terror in the hyenas. Today we will show you other cool cases in which animals underestimated their opponents and then regretted it. An enraged lion leaps into battle and with a mighty blow throws his opponent off. The brother comes to the aid of the cat who got hit in the face, but he too finds himself on the ground seconds later. A much stronger, incredibly cool, and experienced lion easily disperses both young males. Suddenly, the females intervene in the fight, diverting the leader's anger towards themselves. The females lightly bite and smack the male, but he quickly calms down. There won't be a chaotic brawl of everyone against everyone. You might think that the pride leader is defending his clan from outsiders, but in reality, these are internal family disputes. Both young lions are the leader's sons. The aggressive teenagers tried to challenge their father's leadership, for which they then paid the price. However, the leader has no intention of causing any harm to his offspring. Nevertheless, it's time to exile these teenagers. Lions may be considered the kings of the jungle, but they have clear difficulties with hereditary rights. Lions have to constantly defend their power within the pride and regularly fight off intruders, repelling not just the raids of rivals, but also challenges to their authority on the territory. The thing is, male lions are driven out of their native pride already in their adolescent years to avoid inbreeding between the lion and his sisters, aunts, and cousins. So the impending exile of young lions is in the interest not only of the native pride, but also of the entire species. However, these prospects clearly don't sit well with the teenagers themselves, so they decided to rebel. However, they didn't know who they were dealing with. Their father had always been kind and incredibly caring towards them, so the young lions simply couldn't fathom how formidable a fighter their leader actually was. Well, now they understand who they're dealing with. The formidable and mighty lion generously delivers terrifying blows. However, he tries to push away rather than maim the young lions. Externally, there might not seem to be much difference between them, but in reality, the seasoned male is on a completely different level. He manages to teach the young lions a lesson without injuring himself or inflicting serious wounds on his sons. Now that's some skills. His sons avoided serious injuries thanks to the leader's caution rather than their own abilities. However, the scuffle shows them that childhood is over. Although the lionesses don't want the leader to get carried away with clawed discipline, they'll support the leader and help him expel the sons if they continue to be stubborn. The young lions will have to leave. For a while, they'll roam the savannah, hunting with them and fighting against other predators like hyenas. But the mane is growing. For now, it shouldn't hinder their hunting, but the farther they go, the more it will spoil their camouflage. On the other hand, the males will become stronger and larger. For a young male, the only chance of survival is to establish his own pride. If 2 or 3 brothers set out in search of a new clan, they don't have such small chances of survival. The desperate male lion searching for a new pride clearly had no luck. He has no brothers or coalition mates among the young males. The lion endured the hardships of solitary life alone and finally found a territory where a pride of lions resides. However, he didn't know how many predators lived there. A stranger single-handedly entered the territory where 3 brothers ruled. Although the young male is strong and formidable, each of his opponents is equally matched, and the numerical advantage is undeniable. The local leaders spotted the intruder, attacked him, and cornered him in the most convenient spot for a showdown. They pinned the uninvited guest to a narrow strip of shoreline and decided to finish him off there. The typical numerical superiority leaves the intruder no chance of escape. He realizes that fighting is hopeless and would gladly flee, but they won't let him. The three lions want to tear apart the uninvited guest so that he can't return, and pose a threat to their cubs and lionesses. Interestingly enough, the fight moved here also because there was a herd of elephants nearby. These giants get quite nervous when violence breaks out nearby, and predators start their disputes. Of course, the herd of elephants isn't afraid of the lions, as even a single adult giant weighs around 5 tons, almost 20 times more than the predators. 3 lions might be dangerous for a lone young elephant or calf, but a herd of several animals would easily scare off the predators and then trample them. Probably to avoid their keen attention, the panthers herded the enemy onto the deserted beach. Pretty smart, isn't it? But at the same time, the 3 brothers aren't in a hurry to finish the fight. They won't allow the enemy to escape from this tight beach area, surrounding him, driving him as close to the water as possible, and constantly attacking him. But they don't rush either. Why is this? Simply put, they plan to get rid of the enemy without unnecessary losses. They aim to avoid injuries, preserving their strength for future battles. The desperate lion could have at least crippled, if not taken one of the brothers with him. A coalition of 3 males wants to come out of the battle not only as winners, but also without injuries. At first, it seems they'll succeed. The 3 males skillfully execute their attacks, delivering powerful blows, scratching and biting the intruder, gradually wearing him down. The brothers cover each other, not allowing the opponent to focus on one assailant only. Constantly changing directions for attack, distracting the intruder, and landing blows, the lions demonstrate a truly high level of cooperation. However, the lions made a mistake when they heard the intruder here specifically. Yes, he's surrounded and can't escape, but it turns out that the 3 brothers chose an unfortunate spot for their confrontation. This territory is already occupied by hippos. To put it mildly, they do not welcome the disturbance of their peace. A massive and ferocious hippo emerged onto the shore at the exact moment when the 3 lions were preparing to pounce on the lone intruder to deliver a fatal blow and tear him to shreds. Of course, the lions had to divert their attention to this formidable opponent. The hippo weighs about 3 tons. His ramming strike can not only knock down an adult lion, but also break its bones. The hippo appeared suddenly, so instead of attacking him, the 3 focused lions decided to retreat. It's a prudent tactic because fighting such a giant and the outsider lion simultaneously would be risky. However, the lone lion stayed put. He's clearly shocked. The salvation came unexpectedly. The male lion is obviously surprised that he was accidentally helped by a hippo. Of course, the hippo couldn't care less about the fate of the intruder. He intervened not because he considered the attack by 3-on-1 unfair, but because he doesn't want to see any predators near the shores of his waterhole. Therefore, the hippo is indifferent to the intruder, but the wounded lion realizes the danger of his situation. As soon as he leaves the beach, his 3 enemies will immediately attack and attempt to kill him. They are full of strength and determination, and they haven't strayed far. So the young lone lion calmly settles down next to the enraged hippo. The hippo didn't expect such audacity and bravery, considering he had just demonstrated his strength. However, he also doesn't rush to start a fight and doesn't attack the lion. The predator isn't provoking the giant in any way. He lies there, resting, trying to catch his breath, and clearly showing that he poses no threat to the giant. The hippo himself doesn't want to turn this encounter into a chaotic and large-scale battle. Perhaps he would have charged at the lone lion a little later, but the situation has changed once again. It turned out this was far from the end. The hippos underestimated the persistence of the lions. The hippo that intervened in the confrontation thought he had scared off the enemies and made them stay away for a long time. But in reality, the leaders of the local pride simply hid in the nearby bushes. As soon as the hippo returned to the water, the lion came back to finish what they had started. They fiercely attacked the already wounded male, who hadn't yet recovered from the previous scuffle. The intruder fought desperately. He didn't allow them to tear open his belly, retaliated with strikes, bit back, and managed to drive away the enemies. But this wasn't enough. The lions left not because the lone lion managed to overcome them, but because they achieved their goal. During the fierce battle, one of them managed to bite through the intruder's skin on his back and reached his spinal cord. This was a critical wound. When the leaders of the local pride left, the intruder was still alive, but the injury proved to be fatal. He weakened, his hind legs were paralyzed, and multiple internal injuries took their toll. The next day, vultures began to gather around the body of the young intruder. Interestingly enough, hippos also came ashore to him. While initially it seemed like they protected the lone male just despite the old enemies of the local pride, now the hippos really kind of looked upset. It gives the impression that they are mourning the predator they couldn't save. What do you think? What emotions are these hippos exhibiting right now? Let us know in the comments. The bald eagle is one of the most skilled fishermen among all birds. At the same time, it doesn't lead a semi-aquatic lifestyle like a heron, nor does it swim well or dive, for that matter. The eagle even struggles to stay afloat. Diving into the water poses a significant danger to it. Unlike the feathers of ducks and geese, the eagle's feathers are not protected by a special secretion that repels water. If the predator wets the flight feathers on its wings, they will become soaked, heavy, and lose the ability to fly until they dry. However, this doesn't stop the bald eagle from expertly snatching fish during its high-speed flight. It spots its target using its incredibly sharp vision. Often, fish rise closer to the surface in search of food and to breathe more oxygen-rich water. That's when the bald eagle instantly snatches its target. During such fishing, it flies horizontally, with jeweler precision calculating the height and position of its wings so that immediately after contact with the water, it can soar upward. The fish doesn't have time to dive deep because it doesn't even realize who it's dealing with, and that it's been chosen for lunch. Such flight mastery deserves your like, I would say, doesn't it? However, something clearly went wrong here. The bald eagle made a fatal mistake, choosing not the helpless fish, but a cunning octopus as its prey. These creatures lack an internal bone skeleton or an exoskeleton like that of crabs. Therefore, it is considered that out of the water, these 8-limbed beings become practically helpless. Indeed, their bodies seem to sprawl on the ground. However, even on land, the octopus possesses remarkable strength of its limbs. Moreover, it is considered the most intelligent invertebrate on the planet. Some researchers even claim that octopus colonies build underwater settlements from reefs. If you want us to tell you more about such amazing underwater creatures, then let us know about it in the comment section under this video. So underestimating the octopus was a big mistake. When the eagle grabbed the octopus, it didn't manage to snatch it out of the water and ascend higher because the prey grabbed its enemy with its tentacles in response. Moreover, the octopus swiftly struck the wings of its enemy, causing the eagle to crash into the water. What do you think? Was it a coincidence and the octopus just happened to grab this part of the predator's body? Or did the marine inhabitant truly have clear understanding of what to do? Share your opinion in the comments. The battle continued in the water. The octopus is small but very strong and is in its natural element. But the eagle was in trouble. It couldn't free itself from the grasp, couldn't attack the enemy, and certainly couldn't take flight. All the bird had left to do was to put maximum effort simply to remain afloat. The eagle would surely have left the octopus alone, but unfortunately, these creatures couldn't negotiate. So the cephalopod continued to drown its opponent just in case. It turned out that its 8 tentacles were powerful weapons. The feathers soaked with water and lost their support. Even if the bird could free itself, it wouldn't be able to take flight. It's a pretty sad ending, isn't it? Fortunately, nearby people who captured the end of the duel on camera decided to intervene and then save the eagle. They freed the bird, returned the vengeful octopus to its natural environment, and allowed the eagle to dry off. Only after this could it take to the air. Hungry, but alive at least. It will never hunt octopuses ever again. But what's particularly impressive are the combat qualities that octopuses demonstrate in their natural element, that is, in the water. Here the octopus hides from the shark. It may seem afraid, as it stands no chance against one of the most formidable predators in the world's oceans. Sharks have existed almost unchanged for tens of millions of years and have successfully outlived aquatic lizards, who were relatives of dinosaurs. How come? Simply put, they are almost perfectly adapted for their tasks. Sharks are armed with terrifying jaws and sharp teeth, and their hunting skills are awe-inspiring. Here, the formidable fish explores the seabed, stalking potential prey that clumsily hides in shallow depths. The shark isn't that large, but is full of power. It's tens of times more massive and much larger than the invertebrate octopus. A swift lunge and a strong bite with its powerful jaws leave almost no chance for its prey. Here, the shark finds something under the sand and immediately begins to attack. However, it turns out that this was its most humiliating mistake. The fish stumbled upon a hiding octopus. The shark grabs with its jaws, trying to tear its prey apart with its teeth, but it doesn't know who it's dealing with here. Its sharp teeth literally get stuck in the soft and flexible flesh of the octopus. The shark shakes its head, trying to tear the enemy's body apart, but the octopus couldn't care less. It desperately resists and tries to block the shark's mouth. Amazingly, it turns out that this prey itself poses a danger to the predator. Gradually, the situation shifts in favor of the shark. The octopus's tentacles wrap around the fish, penetrating vulnerable areas such as threatening the gills. If the octopus manages to block them, it literally will choke the shark. Size doesn't play a significant role here. The octopus, as a more agile, flexible, and intelligent opponent, seems well acquainted with the shark's vulnerable spots. However, the fish got lucky. The octopus releases ink directly into the shark's mouth, which opens its jaws, shocked by this bold move. Exploiting this, the opponent retreats into the ocean floor, burrows once again. If it wanted to, it could have easily finished off the opponent, but the shark merely spits out the enemy's ink clouds, which come out of its gills even. It probably tastes disgusting, but at least the shark survived. This buffalo noticed the tiger and decided not to flee but to attack head-on. The hoofed animal relies on its mass superiority. It aims to shove the tiger, lifted on its horns, and trampled it, but the bull didn't know who it was dealing with. The striped panther has remarkable skills, and the tiger catches the buffalo at the moment of impact and literally throws it over its shoulder. After that, the panther sinks its clawed paws into the prey, suppresses the buffalo's resistance, and reaches its throat. The tiger easily finishes off the enemy with a crushing bite. In just a few seconds, it defeated an opponent roughly twice its size in close combat. Well, if anyone claims that herbivores lose to predators just because they flee and decide not to fight, then just show them this impressive scene right here. The adult African elephant is undoubtedly the strongest and most massive terrestrial mammal on the Earth. An adult male's weight reaches 5 tons. Rhinos and hippos share second place among giants among land animals, but neither species comes close to elephants in size or strength, lagging behind the tusked giants by almost half. Usually, elephants behave restrainedly and wisely, but in rage, they are capable of uprooting trees, literally scattered predators like skittles, trampling over strong animals into the mud, and single-handedly dispersing entire packs of enemies. For example here, this rhino made a big mistake when it attacked an enraged elephant. In a one-on-one fight, a rhino would trample almost any other opponent, as its weight fluctuates around 3 tons. But the elephant male is almost 1.5 times heavier, much stronger, and towers over the stout opponent like a mountain. Usually, elephants and rhinos don't bother each other, but here, the horned aggressor decided that the calm elephant was too kind and cowardly. Wrong move. Kindness should not be mistaken for weakness. The elephant's patience instantly evaporated. The large-eared combatant knows of its superiority and will gladly demonstrate its might to the opponent. It swiftly charges head-on. The rhinoceros hasn't realized what happened yet, while the elephant rams the opponent, crushes its defense, and easily throws it back. However, the battle doesn't end there. The elephant continues to press forward, cornering the rhinoceros, then collapses on top of it and literally grinds it into the shallows. Its long and powerful tusks deliver a terrifying, devastating blow. The rhino's sturdy armor can't withstand it. The elephant didn't disembowel the opponent, but it inflicted excruciating pain. Presumably, the rhino behaved aggressively toward the elephant to show its strength to a female who was astonishedly watching the fight. Well, the horned one showed off for nothing. The lady did not appreciate it and panickedly fled. The rhino survived, but it's beaten like never before. And in addition to relying on brute strength, elephants are also well armed. Besides the ramming blow, which alone would suffice to deal with almost any opponent, elephants can also employ their tusks. Each tusk's length can approach human height. A tusk strike can overturn a bull or pierce a lion through. The flexible trunk, while not appearing as intimidating as tusks, is also quite potent. With this, an elephant can grasp and deliver powerful strikes. Here, an enraged female rhinoceros attempts to attack the elephant. She thinks the giant threatens her offspring, which was actually a mistake. Attacking the giant was the mistake too. If the female thought that maternal love multiplied her strength tenfold, she was mistaken. The elephant promptly taught her a lesson, delivering a crushing blow. It easily repelled the audacious rival, beat her, and began driving her away. Interestingly enough, the elephant did indeed spare her offspring, stopping in time to allow it to escape. But the bold female didn't receive the same courtesy from the giant. The elephant pounced on her and literally trampled her into the mud. However, it didn't maim her, and after the painful lesson, it also let her go. Elephants can also use their trunks to manipulate objects. There are quite a few videos in which elephants paint with brushes. They hold the brushes precisely with their flexible trunks. Perhaps elephants have difficulties with fine motor skills, but it's more of a training issue. In reality, elephants can quickly learn to use simple tools effectively for their purposes. The trunk can move remarkably accurately. Its flexibility allows it to grasp various objects, but the trunk's strength shouldn't be underestimated either. For example, here a whole gang of rhinos was about to attack an elephant. Family groups and herds of elephants usually travel together across the savanna, but seasoned solitary males often wander alone. It's hard to say why the rhinos decided to take advantage of this one and attack one giant with 3 of them, but in any case, it's a problem for the elephant. As you've already understood, in a one-on-one fight, it would easily overpower such an aggressor. Also, 2 rhinos are unlikely to pose a threat to the elephant, but 3, now that's serious. However, the band of horned bandits underestimated their opponent. They were counting on luring him into close combat, so while the elephant dealt with 1 or 2 opponents from the front, the 3rd could attack him from the side or behind. But the elephant didn't give the enemies a chance to even start implementing this cunning plan. He noticed the approach of the opponents in time and attacked them first from a decent distance. How come? Well, all with the help of his trunk, of course. The elephant went into the thickets, found more or less large branches there, and began to hurl them with tremendous force at the target. It must be said that the elephant's accuracy is not at the highest level here. But he achieved the main result and managed to discourage the opponents. They didn't expect small logs the size of an adult human's leg to come flying at them. Then the elephant emerged from the thickets. He hoped the opponents had calmed down. However, it turned out the other way around. The rhinos thought that when there were no branches nearby, the elephant wouldn't be able to keep them at a distance, so one of them charged head-on. Well, he got an unpleasant surprise. The elephant threw a handful of soil at the rhino, which scattered in a fan in front of the aggressor's muzzle. Dust and small stones flew fast enough to scare the opponent and make him stop. Finally, the rhinos realized that they had chosen the wrong opponent, and the elephant even managed to fend them off alone. This is not an isolated case. For example, here again, elephants clashed with rhinos near the edge of a water body. The elephants are still very young, but among the rhinos, there are experienced and very aggressive fighters. In fact, these animals react to the appearance of other herbivores so harshly, not so much out of malice as out of fear. Rhinos just have poor eyesight. When an indistinct spot suddenly takes on the outlines of a huge giant with massive tusks, it's really easy to get scared, isn't it? However, this doesn't make it any easier for the young elephants. They don't want to fight a dangerous opponent, so one of them pulls off an original trick. This elephant is clearly quite experienced in using objects with his trunk. He accurately throws a fairly hefty rock into the water right in front of one of the rhino's muzzles. The rock splashes, frightening the rhino, causing it to recoil, and sending the other opponents fleeing. Pretty clever, isn't it? It might seem that intelligent and incredibly strong elephants are invincible. It seems that even the giants themselves sometimes think this. Well, this is a big mistake. Young individuals, especially elephants, their skill, coordination, and ability to act together are impressive. These skills allow them to attack even huge elephants. The lionesses begin so for an elephant calf, but the efforts and risks are rewarded. The lionesses drive the 2-ton bases. Hunting young elephants and calves is very risky, but if a group of these herbivorous giants lives in the pride's territory, the calf's relatives underestimated the danger and lost a young member of their herd, unfortunately. However, if you think there's no terrestrial predator that could defeat an elephant alone, you're mistaken. An experienced and cunning male lion can do as much as a whole pack of lionesses. The elephants didn't expect such a feat from him. They came into the pride's territory, but didn't see any predators gathering in a hunting party nearby. So the giants weren't afraid of a confrontation and let the young individual wander alone. They thought none of the local hunters would dare attack the calf. The local leader shouldn't have been underestimated. He slowly approaches the young elephant, which has come to the water's edge for a drink. The elephant is young, but its mass is much greater than a ton. That is, it's about 5 or even 6 times more massive than the lion. But the hungry lion bravely engages in combat, and the calf instantly turns toward the opponent and tries to drive it away. The hungry lion maneuvers, avoids collision, and dodges the calf's retaliatory attacks. There was a lioness nearby. She distracted the young elephant, which charged at her and then attempted to flee. This allowed the lion to attack the calf from the flank. The male lion catches up to the elephant, delivers a terrifying blow, and sinks its claws into the elephant's sides, as well as its jaws into the base of its spine. The massive lion stands on its hind legs but still barely reaches the opponent's sacrum. However, the lion's crushing strength is impressive. It wrestles with the fiercely resisting young elephant, and the adversaries seem to dance, raising small clouds of dust. In terms of sheer physical power, the young elephant vastly surpasses the lion, but the predator also possesses impressive skills and experience. At a crucial moment, it hangs onto the opponent, lifting its hind legs. The elephant, which was just trying to accelerate, didn't expect this move. The predator throws the victim off balance and brings it down. The elephant is in shock, while the lion capitalizes on its success. Together with the lioness, it pounces on the calf, which kicks, thrashes, but can't get up. It's finished off after a few minutes. Lions are perhaps the only predators in Africa that can overcome a more or less large teenage elephant. Hyenas can still attack very young individuals, but once an elephant exceeds 2 tons, it's nearly invulnerable to them. However, lions can still take down such a foe. Yet, this poses more dangerous consequences for them than just the immediate danger during the battle. During elephant hunts, lions make a critical mistake. They believe that the enemy's main weapon is its size, strength, and perhaps the ability to stand together with its kin. But in reality, lions should fear elephants' intellect the most, especially their memory. What does this mean? For example, lions may catch an antelope, and the rest of the herd members will likely scatter in panic. Even if some hoofed animals decided to come to the aid of the attacked comrade, the conflict will be limited to that situation. Hoofed animals will remember the predators, fear them, and try to hide from them. The bravest herbivores like buffaloes may even attack lions preemptively. But it's unlikely that a buffalo will return to have revenge on the lions. The hunt is over. That's it. This incident will remain in the past. Elephants have a different approach. If you attack an elephant, it will remember it, not just as an episode to learn from. It will remember you personally for decades in advance. These animals have excellent memory, allowing them to navigate their environment and recognize potential threats. They remember the best routes to food, teach their offspring, and pass on experience. Moreover, elephants understand the relationship between causes and effects of events. This means they can logically link predators' action with consequences for their loved ones. Their emotional attachment to members of the herd should not be underestimated. There are unique video evidence of a female building a sculpture out of branches and other materials dedicated to the calf that she lost. By the way, it looks quite beautiful, doesn't it? But the main thing is the incredible level of care and emotional connection. Elephants truly bond with their kin and perceive the clan as a value. They even have something akin to their own funeral traditions. It becomes clear that in the case of a successful attack on a baby elephant, the lions will find themselves in big trouble. And it's not just the beginning. Elephants are among the few animals that seek personal revenge. Of course, herbivores in general have an aggressive attitude towards predators. They fight for their lives and may persistently pursue the aggressor. However, these elephants go further. If a pride of lions successfully hunts a baby elephant, the victim's clan will not pursue all predators in general, but specifically the offenders. Moreover, it is believed that elephants meticulously plan and purposefully set out to seek out their enemies to settle the score. Then the elephants attack, and it looks truly intimidating. Lions didn't expect anything like this to happen on their territory. They were tracked to attack the entire group of formidable opponents at once. Only elephants are capable of such a feat. The lions scatter, panicked, and concentrated all around. Such an attack is a disaster for them. A 5-ton elephant on the run can demolish a small house. Even the entire pride can't stop it alone. When there are several such giants ready to act as brutally and ruthlessly as possible, the lions have no choice but to flee. None of them wants to be impaled by tusks all the way through. Some scientists are skeptical about the idea of revenge among animals. After all, it's quite a complex concept. However, it's hard to believe that such elephant behavior would be a coincidence. The meticulous search for the lions responsible for the attack demonstrates that they understood the reasons for their loss. They didn't witness the attack on their young relative, or else they would have intervened. So the elephants identified the culprits by their tracks. Moreover, there is information about cases where elephants, out of revenge, attacked not the hunters themselves, but their offspring. This means the giants tried to take the offspring from those predators who had their sights on their babies. What do you think about this? Perhaps avenging lions that ate an elephant calf is understandable to us, but do you think that hunting lion cubs is too much? Or do you support the elephants? Let us know your opinion in the comments. In any case, engaging with these herbivorous animals was a big mistake. Many animals are capable of surprising not only humans, but also other inhabitants of the natural world. But killer whales especially love to present surprises. They are surprisingly loyal to humans. Ordinary dolphins sometimes attack humans and behave towards each other and to many other inhabitants of the world's oceans like thugs and aggressors. But killer whales never attack humans. What is the reason for such loyalty? It's unclear, however, it's known that no wild killer whale has ever attacked a human, even when the person was completely defenseless. On the contrary, they approach humans to get acquainted, behave surprisingly cautiously, and try not to cause any harm. Moreover, a killer whale immediately stops pursuing prey if it ends up on a human's boat. The black and white predator, weighing about 4 tons, could easily overturn a rubber boat, but it immediately releases the prey if humans are nearby. By the way, if you would like to learn more about marine animals, let us know about it in the comments. They can really surprise you. I'm sure of it. They are also almost always loyal to their own kind. Unlike dolphins, who sometimes literally bully their own kind, killer whales usually help each other faithfully and devotedly. However, towards representatives of other animal species, these marine inhabitants do not behave so cute and friendly. Well, these feathered ones clearly didn't know who they were dealing with here. They decided that the killer whale would feed them out of kindness. Here, the killer whale swims to the edge of the pool several times to give its fish to the birds. Do you think the aquatic creature is captivated by the birds, and this is just like an expression of natural kindness? The birds thought so too. But they were wrong. When the killer whale gave away its fish, it was not a gift, but a short-term investment. If at first the birds were wary of such behavior from the giants, they soon really accepted the gift. They approached closer, grabbed the fish, then another, again and again. Note here that the killer whale shared with the birds multiple times and patiently waited for the most appetizing one of them to come closer and relax. All this just so the killer whale could swiftly launch an attack later. The bird doesn't have time to react and take off. Armed with powerful and sharp teeth, the huge predator's mouth snaps shut. The killer whale takes the prey underwater right in front of the astonished birds watching. The investment paid off. By spinning a couple of small fish, the predator got quite a plump bird for lunch. If you think that this is a unique case, then you're mistaken. Here, the killer whale simply decided to pretend to be a friend to the birds. It tries to look friendly and plays with the birds. Pretty charming, isn't it? Whether the predator decided to win with artistry or there simply wasn't enough fish in stock, the killer whale staged a whole mini shock. It flips upside down, dives to resurface sharply, flaps its fins. In short, it does everything to attract attention. And it works. The curious birds come closer. The predator lunges forward. However, the killer whale underestimated the speed of the vigilant birds' reaction, who managed to dodge and scatter. The trick failed, but the predator will have another chance to show itself. Which case today, where animals surprised their enemies and showed that they should not be underestimated, impressed you the most? Share your impressions in the comments underneath this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that we are able to see each other much more often.